What's up, my dudes? This is my home dog, Calculated on YouTube. He's actually one of my old high school buddies. He just started his YouTube channel. We got him up to 106 subscribers, so definitely go check him out. I'll leave a link down below in the description and in the comments below. It's really tough to make it on YouTube when you first get into it, so definitely go give him a sub. Go help him out. He does some really cool Rainbow Six Siege type montage videos, Call of Duty montage videos, stuff like that. So definitely go give him a sub. Let him know where he came from. You know what it is, boys. So let's get in here and talk about a really cool idea I've had for these milestone games for a while now, but it's just never really seemed to quite happen yet. So what it is, you guys know they have a rain weather effect that they've had in the games for a while. They've had it all the way back. I think they even had rain. Damn, I can't remember when they first put that in. It was either MXGP 2 or 3, somewhere right around there. And then it's just had improvements over time and all that. And they have had like what you call, desert tracks. And then have they had a winter biome track in any of these milestone games yet? I don't think they have. Interestingly enough, it's like they're just like, nah, we're not going to put the snow bio. We're not going to do any of that. I know that one dude did that mod in, I think it was MXGP Pro, where he did the snow on. You could like put some of the snow on some of the tracks, if I'm thinking of that right. And Supercross 2 or one of those games, he made it to where you could put snow on it, which it wasn't actually snow falling. It was just like a white decal on the ground replacement for the map. But my sort of idea, you know how these milestone games really make the rain mode like a full feature in the game. It's more than just putting a rain effect on a track and like it completely changes the track. It's really a mode in the game. You know what I'm saying, dog? And so what I think would be a really cool improvement and an actual new feature to a newer milestone game would be the addition of a full-blown like desert dry weather effect, okay? So, and this would be able to be applied to any track out there, okay? Kind of like how the rain mode, you can put it on any track, same sort of difference. I don't mean just making one desert vibe track that's dry. I mean making an actual dry, blue groove, dusty sort of true weather effect in the game. So when you go through there on each one of the tracks and you pick your weather effect as being like either clear or rain or whatever, then you've got a whole like dry mode on it as well that will make a completely different track on each one of the tracks. So you've got like a dry, it's a lot more hard pack. If you come up short on something, you got more of a chance to pop off because it's a lot more hard packed dirt, and you got a lot more dust. So if you're racing people, you're going to have more dust flying up, especially if you're in first person. That's going to affect it quite a bit more. The ruts get more hardcore, they're not like those loose loam sand ruts. They're more hard blue groove style. If you barely get out of the rut, you're just going to flip over and cross rut because they're so sturdy. They're so, hard ruts, and you got hard, choppy braking bumps versus the big roller style sand bumps versus the, they've got to find a way to be able to do that. And that would be so cool to be able to have it as an actual weather effect in the game. And I just kind of got on this track right here on MXGP 2019 just to kind of, this kind of a desert biome, but does it really have more of a deserty feeling than any of the other tracks as far as like dust or blue groove ruts or, anything like that? Not really. So, it kind of comes down to that. And not only that, but you can expand even more, okay? You can have a rain effect that can go on any track that's not a indoor stadium track, obviously, because that would be pointless. Same way with the drive mode, you wouldn't really be able to do that on like an indoor stadium supercross track. It just wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know how good that would really work, but and even the time of day, if it's a super dry version of a track, you could have the sun really beaten down versus just like a standard sun effect on the track. So you could have a, rain mode, standard dirt mode, wet track mode, which is a wet track without the rain actually falling. You could have a dry mode on it, which is the dust, blue groove ruts, choppy bumps, hard dirt, that kind of thing. Then you could have a whole nother weather effect, which is like a snow weather effect. Okay, so this is going to have snow falling, which is going to create a difference, maybe in first person, your goggles kind of get like a little froze up effect on them, little icy vibe on the side of your goggles, you know what I'm saying? Ice, baby. You know what I'm saying? You could have something kind of cool like that. And you could have where obviously the traction is more like a slick feel, but it would have to be interesting enough to make it different enough from like the mud. Obviously, I would think snow would be more slick, quite a bit more slick feel. Depends on how slick mud you're talking about, but typically, you know how these milestone games, the rain mode, like it's not super slick mud. So they could have that more not super slick, but then have the snow mode, make it to where the dirt is super slick, and you could just kind of like drift your ass end around all the time and like have fun. And I could just imagine them coming out with like 3 full-blown free ride tracks. One of them's a desert vibe biome like this, and it has the desert dry weather effect condition on it all the time. And then you've got a full-blown snow biome free ride track, and it's got the snow weather effect on it all the time. And then you've got like a tropical rainforest type free ride track that's got the rain mode all the time, the rain weather effect on it all the time, you know what I'm saying? And then you could have another free ride map that's just like a standard woodland that doesn't have any weather effect on it at all the time. You see what I'm saying? So you could like kind of play on that and make 4 different full-blown free ride tracks in the game to really show off and showcase each one of the weather effects properly. And then you could, and obviously there's probably going to be some limitations to certain tracks not being able to have certain weather effects. I mean, I get it. Like, you don't want to be having like snow on a desert vibe track, a snow weather effect on a desert vibe track, even though that would be badass and it would be like snowing in Utah or some shit. Like, it'd be really cool to see that. But, and then kind of, but I mean, a lot of it does translate and go together when you think about it. Like, even if you have a tropical style track, you could still have it being the dry weather effect on it, because you think about it, there's sometimes where, those tropical design palm tree style tracks could get pretty dry, or like a Hawaii vibe track could actually get pretty dried out, If it doesn't rain for a couple days and you don't really go out there and manicure the track, it's going to get blue groove ruts on it and the whole 9. So I just think this would be such a cool advancement and an improvement in these milestone games to really have 2 or 3 more full-blown different weather effects other than the rain effect. Basically they have 2 different weather effects right now. They have the rain effect and then just the normal effect, which is not really any weather effect at all on it. So there's kind of 2. I think it'd be cool to have 2 or 3 more. I don't know. Just my own little opinion. Just want to give you guys a little something, little ideas to you, Milestone. If you haven't already kind of thought about this a little bit, but you guys are basically the biggest weather effect in a motocross game pillar in the motocross gaming community right now. You guys are the ones that are really pushing that side of motocross games and really trying to turn that into something more than what it has been previously. And so it would only make sense for you to go in there and be the first ones to really put in a dry blue groove weather effect or a snow weather effect or whatever, I think that'd be really cool. And who knows how you could like make it to where, I was saying if you had the dry weather effect on it, made more blue groove ruts. Well, if you had the snow effect on, it could make like this cool combination of like soft snow rut, but then like a certain kind of dirt underneath the snow. Once you get the top layer of snow wore down, like once you've ran enough laps on it and you get that wore down, it kind of goes to like a bottom dirt layer underneath the snow. There's all different cool things you could do with that and make it interesting and make each one of the different weather effects really feel like a different thing. So, dude, when I tell you guys I got ideas to another dimension, I mean it, dog. Like, if I was a actual game developer and one of these, like, game idea director dudes or whatever you want to call it for these game companies, oh my God, you would see some amazing stuff in these games. Like, I'm telling you, that is just the tip of the iceberg, no pun intended, on the ideas I have, man. Just go look at some of my custom tracks I made for MX Simulator. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's me just like barely putting in some of my ideas down on, down on virtual paper. Like, the ideas are just endless, bro. Absolutely endless. And there's so much you can do with motocross biome design. And then you get into Not even what, you go to all the Earth biomes and all the different variations of that, but then there's even more than that. Then you get into space tracks. I'm the first dude that's ever made an actual space track in a motocross game, ever before. Then it goes to space tracks. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, then you could do like every planet, right? And it's like Jupiter track, Mars track, alien track, whatever, And then that kind of gets into making these cool, could be like a real-life biome, but it's not really. So, like, you could combine tropical with snow, or it just goes on and on. But then it goes into a whole nother level. Then you can go to another dimension. Then you can make a trippy track. Then it's just, there's no limit, bro. There's no limit, and that's what I always try to push, man. There's no limit to what you can do in these motocross games, what you can make in these motocross games, just like there's no limit to what you can do in your life. It's the same thing, man. There's no limit to this dimension that we live in. Go and get it, man. It's waiting for you. Just go and get it. Go do it. If you have an idea, go do it, bro. Don't let them tell you can't do it. I'm tired of that shit. In this day and age, there's no excuses not to be able to do the things you want to do with all of the resources you have, all of the different advancements in technology. You should be able to do anything you want to do in life nowadays. Now, if you were alive in, the early 1900s, it's a little bit of a different story. You had to go out there and do some hard labor, and that's all you really could do to stay alive. But now, you could do whatever you want to do. My dude, go do it.